Hi, it's Eric Paulson with you. Getting ready for the 4th of July week. I hope all of you are as well. It was a busy week in Washington, of course, with the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling on the new health care law. We'll start out with our questions we got for our weekly video conversation. In fact, the first question we'll take was on the health care law itself. We heard from James in Plymouth, who said, the Obama Health Care Reform Act is very flawed. However, no matter what the Supreme Court rules, Congress must do the hard work of instituting changes. Reform is badly needed now. Actually, James, I agree. While I respect the court's decision, I am very disappointed in its ruling because now folks will be forced to have a decision of paying a higher tax or facing higher insurance premiums. And there are policies in the new law that are absolutely flawed. It takes $500 million out of Medicare and funds that into this new entitlement program. There's also the new medical device tax, which is going to hit Minnesota very hard. I'm working to repeal that tax along with other members of the Minnesota delegation. I'll continue to champion that because it's important for jobs and medical innovation. And I'm also concerned about the healthcare law's new costs, over $1 trillion in new expenditures. That's something that we can't afford as a country to leave for our legacy for our children and our grandchildren. So watch for looking for new opportunities to actually reform costs. I think there are plenty of bipartisan solutions out there, and I'm committed to finding those common sense, patient-centered reforms that are required to lower healthcare costs for our consumers. Also heard from Gerald in Minnetonka and Ed from Bloomington, actually among some others, who wrote in about transportation policy because there's been a transportation bill that's been hung up in Congress, but there's some good news on the horizon. The letter in said, I urge you to work with your colleagues and make transportation number one by sending a long-term federal highway transit and safety bill to the President as soon as possible. Citing this bill will invest in roads, bridges, transit systems, which are the backbone of the U.S. economy and help businesses large and small and communities of all sizes. Good question. In fact, just this Saturday, unless Congress acts, we will have an expiration of our transportation programs, investing in roads and bridges. The good news is I expect Congress to pass a bipartisan solution before the weekend that have a 2-year program or a 2-year extension of transportation programs. I actually sent a letter to the President with many of my colleagues for a bipartisan 6-year plan. I think the more long-term solutions that we can put out there, the better for investing in our roads and our bridges and our infrastructure. Here were some of the highlights, though, of what will be a part of this 2-year extension. Number one, it's going to streamline the review process. That's going to allow us to save not only money, but also time in bringing these projects forward. It's going to increase the roles for our states and our local governments for local control rather than having everything come from the federal government. And it's also going to allow emergency repairs, like the I-35W bridge, for instance, when it got built. It allowed those plans to get accelerated through the process quicker. And it's also going to make sure that projects that are within already the right-of-way that are getting approved have also reduced review times. In other words, more flexibility, saving time and money, bringing these dollars that are needed for infrastructure. I want to encourage all of you to stay in touch through Facebook, through Twitter, or on my website, of course, at paulson.house.gov. Have a great 4th of July weekend.